So the further away from the Warriors' 2022 NBA championship, the crazier it seems that they actually won it. And recently we had former GM Bob Myers pretty much tell us that he didn't think they were contenders. And as much as you might want to kill Bob Myers for that statement, part of it makes sense. The part that doesn't make sense is Steph Curry just came off a season averaging 32 points per game. Maybe you should have believed in that guy a little bit more. But the parts that do make sense, right? Nobody would have predicted Andrew Wiggins becoming one of the best 3-and-D wings in the NBA. Nobody would have predicted Klay Thompson coming back that strong after tearing an ACL and an Achilles. And the part that will be forgotten is nobody would have predicted Jordan Poole, the 28th pick in the draft, would have that type of season. Jordan Poole was the starting shooting guard on a team that started the year 18-2. That's already extremely impressive, right? Filling in for Klay Thompson in a shooting guard role. But later in that year, Steph Curry goes down with an injury, and Jordan Poole goes on in the month of March to have a crazy year. In 16 games in March, he puts up 25 points per game, 5 assists, 49% from the field, 44% from three. He leads the NBA in three-pointers made in the month of March. And if you guys don't remember, yes, the Warriors started off 18-2, but in that middle of the season, they were really struggling. And part of that is including that month of March, right? But if they didn't have Jordan Poole in that stretch with no Steph Curry, they probably don't hold on to the 3 seed, which means Dallas would have moved ahead of them in the standings, and maybe more importantly, Boston as well. Even though the Warriors won 2 games on the road in that series, it's a different situation starting on the road. Even though the Warriors lost game 1, right? Who knows what would happen? For some reason, Jordan Poole is not really brought up. Obviously, we talk about Wiggins and what he did in game 5 against the Celtics. We talk about Wiggins and his dunk on Luka Doncic. He had some crazy dunks in the Memphis series as well. Of course, we talk about Klay Thompson's comeback. We talk about Kevon Looney's amazing playoff run. But for whatever reason, we don't really mention Jordan Poole in that playoff run. And depending on how the rest of his career goes, it's gonna be one of the more forgotten playoff runs ever. It's gonna be an anomaly. I'm not trying to oversell it, right? He wasn't putting up 25 points per game. He wasn't carrying the offense. But if I just put up these numbers, right? I'm not gonna let you guys know who it is right now, but look at these numbers. And these are young, emerging stars playing next to some of the all-time greats. I understand it is not apples to apples. We're talking about different eras. We're talking about different players, right? But someone that does what Jordan Poole did at his age on a championship winning team is usually heading to a certain trajectory that these other guys did. But to me, it's a very similar one to Tony Parker, where I get it, Tim Duncan was younger at the time, but a similar situation. It's pretty much that. If Tony Parker just fell off after the first ring. And looking at all these guys, all Hall of Famers. Joe Dumars is a Hall of Famer, right? Yes, he is. And these numbers aren't crazy for any of these players, but they continue to get better while Jordan Poole has fallen off. But he had that type of impact on a championship winning team. He had 2014 Kawhi level impact on a championship winning team. And it will never be remembered that way unless Jordan Poole can turn his career around and become a very good player. But I can't lie to you guys, I don't have much hope in that. And for those of you that might say it's a little bit strong to say Jordan Poole, quote unquote, saved the dynasty, I get it. At the same time, I don't though, because again, this 2022 year doesn't happen without Jordan Poole. And also, look at how we would view the Warriors if Jordan Poole didn't work out. How much we talk about Kuminga as well, for sure. We're now in year 4 of Kuminga, still waiting for him to help Steph Curry be a playoff team. Look at how we talk about James Wiseman. We would focus on that miss so much if it wasn't for Jordan Poole. We would talk about taking Wiseman over LaMelo, over Halliburton, over Denny Avdija, right? Seems like a Warriors guy. The smartest team, the Warriors, took James Wiseman, but we don't talk about it because Jordan Poole saved them in that year. And let's talk about the playoffs where he actually saved them. Warriors fans, let me know in the comments down below what you feel like the most important games of that playoff run were. Because to me, when I think about that playoff run, the most important game is game 1 at Memphis. Sorry, Celtics fans, we will get to you guys in a little bit, but game 1 at Memphis. The Warriors need to win 1 game on the road to win this series. In this game 1, Draymond Green has 5 turnovers and gets ejected going into halftime. Classic Draymond, right? Steph Curry in this game is 8 of 20 from the field. Not a great game, not a terrible game, only 1 turnover, 24 points. Klay Thompson is 6 of 19 from the field for 15 points. But Jordan Poole, 12 of 20 from the field, 31 points, 8 boards, 9 assists, 5 of 10 from 3, and a plus 10 in a game they only won by 1 point. Again, they needed to win 1 game on the road to win this series. That is the only game they won on the road in that series. In a game 1 where everybody was so excited about the Steph Curry versus Ja Morant show, in my opinion, Jordan Poole was the best player on the court. The Warriors lose game 2. Game 3 is a blowout by the Warriors. Jordan Poole, 27 points, team high plus 33. And that was actually probably his most up and down series in that playoff run. No need to talk about the Nuggets series. The Warriors weren't in any jeopardy of losing that series. But then we get to the conference finals where people say Jordan Poole kind of fell off as the playoffs went along. He just went on in the conference finals to put up 16 points per game on 63% from the field and 40% from 3. Your shooting guard shooting 63% from the field. And that series is kind of remembered as the Wiggins series. We all remember the dunk on Luka, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Wiggins or Steph Curry or any of the other players. I just don't think we're gonna remember this run from Jordan Poole. But then we get to the NBA Finals, and this is where we kind of see a drop-off. We go from 28 minutes a night against Dallas to 20 minutes a night against Boston. But in those minutes, Jordan Poole made his impact felt. I'm sure Celtics fans remember it. You probably remember the buzzer beaters. He hit one in game 2, where the game was pretty much over. But the one in game 5, the Celtics are leading in the third quarter, 74-72 with the ball. I want to say Jordan Poole played some good defense on this possession. I'm going to give it to him. He's flying around the court, and then he hits the buzzer beater at the end of the third to put the Warriors up 75-74. Still not sure how he got this shot off. And Jordan Poole barely played in this game. He played 14 minutes, but he was 3 of 6 from 3, including that buzzer beater, and scored 14 points in his 14 minutes. And this was really the game we remember as the Wiggins game, because it was the Wiggins game. Steph Curry coming off an iconic game 4, and then he puts up a Steph Curry stinker in game 5 that no one really talks about because they won the series. No need to talk about it. Wiggins for sure saved the day in that game, but who knows how that turns out if Jordan Poole doesn't hit that buzzer beater at the end of the third. I know that sounds crazy, but momentum is a real thing, and after that shot, the Warriors pretty much dominated the fourth quarter. Then we get to the closeout game, the final game, where the Warriors get off to a horrendous start. They are down 2-12 on the road in the finals. Seems like it's going to a game 7. And then the Warriors battle back, and Jordan Poole is not a big part of this. The Warriors go on a 21-0 run at some point, but before that run, I think Jordan Poole only had 2 points. But then we get to a point, a Draymond Green 3 and a Steph Curry 3 back-to-back, and the Warriors take the lead in the game. They go up 24-22. Then Jordan Poole hits a 3 at the end of the quarter, putting the Warriors up 27-22 after being down 12-2. And now the Celtics are on the ropes to start the second quarter. It could all swing back. Steph Curry is currently on the bench, and Jordan Poole hits 2 threes in the first 2 minutes, extending the lead all the way up to 35-22, and the Celtics never really got back in contact. And in this game, Jordan Poole only played in 18 minutes, 15 points in 18 minutes, and in the 21-0 run, Jordan Poole had 9 of those 21 points, was a plus 11 in a game where Klay Thompson was 5 of 20 from the field. They needed every single thing they got from Jordan Poole in that playoff run, and it's just gonna be forgotten if Jordan Poole's career keeps going the way it's going right now. And it honestly makes me sad. Coming off that playoff run, I would have told you Jordan Poole was headed on a all-star trajectory, right? The same trajectory we seen from those players I mentioned earlier, a Tony Parker trajectory. Maybe I'm missing someone, but you guys let me know in the comments down below, a player that was that good for a championship team that suddenly became one of the worst players in the NBA. I don't feel like that happens often. You might think I'm being a little bit dramatic, but I believe there is a world where Jordan Poole is out of the NBA very soon. If this continues, no team that takes themselves seriously is signing up for Jordan Poole, And then we got all the bad teams that are drafting young players that are gonna give those opportunities to. So if Jordan Poole remains a bad three-point shooter, who's not a good enough playmaker to be a real point guard, who doesn't seem like someone you'd want around as a veteran, right? I'm talking about, 2-3 years from now, when Jordan Poole is gonna be 26, 27. I don't know, it can get very bleak for Jordan Poole, and the obvious thing is the three-point shooting, right? That 1 year with the Warriors, he shot 36% in the regular season, shot 39% in the playoffs, but he's a career 33% three-point shooter. And if that's gonna remain the rest of his career, then he's probably not gonna be as good as I thought he was gonna be. And I feel dumb because I thought Jordan Poole was gonna be special. Jordan Poole has one of the best handles in the NBA, one of the more creative players you will find on the court. I have a tendency to really fall in love with players with the creativity, and Jordan Poole definitely has that. And yeah, I thought he was gonna be special. I'm not, completely writing the book on it right now, but it really does seem bleak. This guy went from someone that I would say saved that dynasty to someone who's a joke in the NBA. But one more time, if there's no Jordan Poole, Steph Curry doesn't get number 4, he doesn't get his finals MVP. If there's no Jordan Poole, Bob Myers is looked at crazy for taking James Wiseman and not trusting and building a competent team around Steph, not trading the pick. And this might seem like a dumb take, I'm not saying I subscribe to it, but if Steph Curry doesn't get number 4 and the only ring he has without Durant is against a hobbled Cavs team, and the Warriors have missed the playoffs 3 out of 5 years since Kevin Durant left, is that right? We'd be having a whole different conversation. We'd be talking about how the Warriors let Steph Curry down, how he should be demanding a trade if he really wants to go get number 4. But Jordan Poole saved all of that, and unfortunately it's going to be forgotten. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Were you a believer in Jordan Poole? Are you still a believer in Jordan Poole? Do you think it's over? Let me know all that down in the comments below. Had to get this video out before the regular season starts because it's kind of a random video to post before the start of the regular season. But just watching the Wizards preseason, man, let me know in the comments down below. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm out. Peace.